Hi, my name is Matvey, and today we'll talk about the ledgers, NFTs, and Bitcoin versus Ethereum. So we'll start with the blockchain. The blockchain is a distributed database or a ledger that is shared among the nodes or computer network. And one key difference between a typical database and a blockchain, and this is how the data is structured. A blockchain collects information together in groups known as blocks that hold sets of information. And blockchain have certain capacities, and when filled, are closed and linked to the previous blocks, the previous filled blocks, forming a chain of data known as a blockchain. And how does it work? The blockchain is the foundation of ledgers or records of transactions that cannot be altered, deleted, destroyed. And this is why blockchain are also known as a distributed ledger technology. So what is a ledger? Ledger is a record keeping system. It tracks value as it moves around, so the viewer can always see where exactly and what value resides at a given moment. And blockchain are a form of digital ledger that validate and store all transactions within their networks. So, for example, in case of Bitcoin, the blockchain records all the transactions involving Bitcoin using blocks secured by cryptography. Um, we have different types of ledgers, and some of them are centralized, decentralized, and distributed. In case of centralized, it's when one entity controls the entire system. In decentralized, it can be multiple entities controlling the whole system, but there is no single point of control. In distributed system, all the parts of the system, such as servers or ledgers, are not co-located and exist at different locations. So how the distributed ledger works. Um, Users initiate the transactions by signing with the digital signature. Then user broadcast their transaction to the nodes. Then the node in validating process of this transaction. Then it goes to the blocks, and then after the consensus protocol, it's reflecting in block by the signature of the blockchain, so of the all users. And, in this case, the transaction is validated. We have here the example of cryptography. So the broadcasting and initiation of transaction by with a digital signature, private and public key, validation of transactions, for example, within the system proof of work, and chaining the blocks with the hash function. Here is cryptography. And there are some pluses of distributed ledgers, and why is it better? So it can not be controlled by central authority or entity, by any individuals. It can create a value or reissue the assets. It can be used to transfer the value or the ownership of assets, and also it can be record the transactions of value or ownership of assets, for example. So here is small transaction to NFTs because it's really close to the previous topic. What is NFTs? It stands for non-fungible token, and non-fungible means something that is unique, it cannot be replaced. So by contrast, physical money and cryptocurrencies are fungible, which means they can be traded or exchanged for one another. Every NFT contains digital signature, which makes each one unique. So NFTs are digital assets, and it could be anything actually: photos, videos, audio files, or another digital format. And as that, NFTs examples include artwork, sport collectivists, any trading cards, comics, even games and recipes. There are some features of NFTs which make them popular. So, with NFTs, people can prove ownership of digital assets. NFT owners can program royalties for themselves. It can be mean that each time an NFT is resold, some small, well, not small percentage of the transactions go to the first owner. And the great thing about NFT is that no matter how many times you copy them, the current owner of the original file is always provable. And why is it so popular last years? And what is going on now in world of NFTs? So over the last 2 years, NFTs have emerged as one of the most active and noticeable aspects of Web3. So the data stored on blockchain by NFTs may be connected with the files that includes forms of media, such as I said, the photos, videos, audio, and in certain instances it can be even related to physical items. So the owner of NFT will often have ownership rights over the data, material, or item connected with the token, and these tokens are typically purchased and traded on specialized markets. And the rise of NFTs was really meteoric in 2021, but it hasn't been very steady since then, and it seems to have fallen over the last, I guess, 6 months. And 2021, two of the most active markets for NFTs were collectible art projects, of course, and the video game industry. NFTs have launched the new era of video gaming, which has resulted the new it launched the new types of games, such as blockchain-based pay-to-earn games that provide players within the game the benefits. And users now have the opportunity to own in-game assets for the first time and make a possible profit from such assets by trading them on NFT platforms, like in OpenSea, for example. And here is next step. After the blockchain technology, we'll go to smart contracts. So, benefits of it: speed, efficiency, and accuracy. Once What does it mean? Once a condition is met, the contract is executed immediately, because smart contracts are digital and automated. There is no paperwork to process it, and no time spent reconciling errors that often result from manually filling the documents. Trust and transparency. That's clear because there is no third party involved, and because encrypted records of transactions are shared across participants as a system of blockchain, and there is no need to question whether information has been altered for personal benefit. Security. Blockchain transaction records are encrypted, which makes them very hard to hack. Moreover, because each record is connected to the previous record on a distributed ledger, hackers would have to alter the entire chain of a single record, so it's quite difficult. And the last benefit is savings. So smart contracts remove the need for intermediaries to handle transactions, and by extension their association time, delays, and fees. So that's quite profitable. But still, there are some challenges and criticisms about the NFTs. First, it's not environmentally friendly, which is debatable nowadays, but still there is a question about it. This is one of the main criticism towards the NFTs, is that their carbon footprint is about it, and it actually might look a little silly, but NFTs and their core tokens, it's stored on a blockchain, and while that can be any blockchain that supports them, and the vast majority are stored on the Ethereum blockchain today. And there is nothing wrong with the Ethereum itself, but it's quite expensive, and there is a reason why it's native cryptocurrency. Ethereum is the second biggest crypto in the market, and second after Bitcoin. It's a decentralized network, relies on mining process transactions. So complex mathematical equations performed on computers and mining equipment. Miners help Ethereum blockchain reach consensus on the blockchain while receiving a reward for their effort. So in this case, this helps blockchain stay working, and but at the same time there are cost energies, and this is why it consumes the energy, and this is why it's not environmental friendly. For example, Ethereum consumes the same amount of energy as Argentina, and in case of Bitcoin, also the Bitcoin consumes the same amount of Argentina, and Ethereum same amount of energy as the Netherlands. The second issue is unregulated market, which means in distributed ledger and today's markets that there are no central authority to control it, so it's not safe, etc. But this is the freedom of crypto world, so I would say that's a plus, but that's a criticism. Saying the high speculative market, but in case of crypto, it's a free market, so it can be, on this market can happen anything. And property violations, that's a quite seldom thing actually, but sometimes it happens. Nobody is safe, and in my opinion, you just have to be really, really knowledgeable about the thing that you do, and in this case, you will be safe. And most NFTs projects fall to break even. That's also the criticism, but as in any business, you have a risk to not break the even, so that's quite debatable. So the future potential and opportunities for NFTs. Um, not Some industry professionals feel that NFTs market will continue to exist, but they also anticipate that it will continue to expand and play an increasingly crucial role in the digital economy. And for example, according to Cointelegraph, the NFT market could be worth 231 billion by 2030, and this is due to considered adoption within the video games, music, art, and digital collectible industries. And actually, this technology opens many new opportunities, so even for classic businesses and common users. And they can be used for tokenizing assets and providing them to employees as perks or benefits. Experts also believes that our lives will become more virtual in coming years, so it's possible that in the near future people will be able to carry out their daily activities within the virtual space using virtual assets. And our last step, Bitcoin versus Ethereum. The key difference is while both of the Bitcoin and Ethereum networks are powered by the principle of distributed ledgers and cryptography, they differ technically in many ways. For example, transactions on Ethereum network may contain executable code, while data affixed to Bitcoin network transactions is only used to record the transaction information. And difference in purpose. Uh, Digital, in the case of Bitcoin, digital store of value and peer-to-peer electronic cash system, as I said, and Ethereum is more widely developed, and it's actually a decentralized platform for smart contracts and dApps. Uh, Also, there is a difference in supply. So Bitcoin is limited; it's only 21 million maximum supply, and in case of Ethereum, there is no maximum, but issues is limited by a consensus mechanism. So it's also limited, but not by the system. And the comparison of markets. In 2021, Bitcoin had a market cap of 3,076 billion, and accounting for about 40% of the total cryptocurrency market, which was about 950 billion. In case of Ethereum, which market cap was about 818 billion, had a market share of 20%. And in 2022, there were about 19.1 bitcoins. Yes, and on the 30th of August in 2021, there was about 20 bitcoins in circulation. In the case of Ethereum, more than 120. But still, there are some similarities. Ethereum and Bitcoin are alike in many ways, and each digital currency is traded on an online exchange and stored in cryptocurrency wallets. Both of them are decentralized. So this is the main similarity, which makes them quite similar, but at the same time they are super different. So the future. The Ethereum ecosystem is growing by leaps and bounds thanks to the surging popularity of its dApps in areas such as finance, artists and collectibles, gaming, technology. The Bitcoin has another coming project which called Lightning Network, and it's being worked on a second layer protocol that intends to take transactions off chain for the purpose of speeding up the network. It remains anyone's guess which cryptocurrencies and blockchain will stand the test of time. Perhaps they both will, but one thing is certain, both have induced much needed discussion about the financial system worldwide. Thank you very much for your attention. This was a quite long video, but I really hope you enjoyed it. Thanks one more time.